guys. Trevor here with FitLab. Got Eric with me again for another FitLab sit down. We're going to be talking about the Atkins diet. Eric has been doing some research into the Atkins diet, science that underlies it, and well, he's going to tell us about it. So Eric, why don't you start us off? What is the Atkins diet?
Okay, so the Atkins diet was created by Robert C. Atkins in 1972. He was a cardiologist. Basically, his plan with the diet was to create something for his clients to basically consume less sugar and less carbohydrates. He just noticed a higher increase in obesity among his clients, and that's why they were seeing him. So basically, their heart problems came down to what they were eating. So that's basically what it is. The main details behind it is you're basically eating a lot of high fatty foods. So he does allow that. High protein, and they eliminate carbohydrates completely. But they do it in a very systematic way. Like they'll slowly eliminate the carbohydrates as you go through these 4 phases, which is what the entire diet's pretty much comprised about.
Okay, so you start off with just like a step down program, kind of like nicotine or something,
Yeah.
just like you're weaning yourself off of carbohydrates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how does the body respond to that diet change? I mean, the typical American diet is like 50% carbohydrates.
Yes.
So you're removing half of your normal source of calories, which would explain why weight loss would occur. But what's the physiological metabolic response that the body takes?
Basically, when they eliminate these carbohydrates, they're eliminating just a bunch of high-calorie stuff. So the things that are left over are like chicken, lamb, bacon, seafood. You got your greens, broccoli, asparagus, spinach, and whatnot. So in general, it's just a healthier diet. Well, in terms of eliminating the carbohydrates, because most people like the potatoes, they like rice, but by eliminating that group right there, the body does respond to it, because you are eliminating a good portion of your calories, so you're going to lose weight. Like, weight loss is going to happen. Is it sustainable? Not necessarily. That's where the diet's flaw is.
Okay, so touch on that. What's the sustainability issue?
So basically what happened is they did a test subject they did the testing on mice.
Mm-hmm.
So they fed one group high corn syrup, just a straight carbohydrate diet, and they fed the other group the Atkins diet. So they followed the protocol as is. The problem that they seen after the results were actually comprised was that the group of mice that were on the Atkins diet elicited a slower metabolism due to the fact that they just weren't getting in the carbohydrates. Two, the Atkins diet does not require exercise. So you're actually pretty inactive when you're doing this. You're just lowering your calories, but again, metabolism is based off of activity level.
Right.
It's not based off of how much you eat. So if the person's not really doing anything, does it do anything? Not really. I mean,
at least initially it would.
Initially,
but
it's
as
gonna.
your metabolism slows down.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're just giving your body an electric jolt, and it's like, okay, we're gonna do this. Yes, it's gonna respond to that, but the body is an extremely strategic survival machine.
Eventually, the stimulus wears off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So you need to exercise essentially if you want to make this diet work.
You need to move. You need a plain and simple move, but they don't require that.
Now you could do the Atkins diet long term if you're exercising. Would you say? I mean, when you exercise, you kind of need sugar in your bloodstream.
Yeah. Okay. So now here's where their biggest flaw is. Now, it's divided up into 4 phases, like I said, and it's designed to slowly wean you off of carbohydrates. However, if the person obtains the optimal weight that they want after the 4 phases have been completed, the problem is, let's say that person's like, okay, I'm at a weight I want to be at. I want to be active now. I want to run a half marathon. They start training for that, but they still eat like they're on the Atkins diet. The only problem with that is there's no carbohydrates. If you want to increase activity, you need to increase the amount of carbohydrates as well. Carbohydrates is where your predominant energy source is going to be if you're going to be wanting to do an obstacle course race. You want to play a sport, play soccer, play football, you want to play basketball, you want to start running a little bit more with your friends. The diet has to change, but they have no protocol for that. It's just eating and no activity. That's all it's designed for.
Now, if you're overweight and you're doing the Atkins diet, you could exercise at that point because you're going to draw energy from your obesity.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's when you get to the point where you've reached your ideal weight that you have to change the diet up. There's a strong argument that can be made for a need for carbohydrates in a healthy individual who's active.
Yep. It has to be balanced. Macronutrients have to be balanced.
Would you recommend the Atkins diet to someone that's interested, an overweight person that's interested in doing it?
If their only goal is to lose weight, it's a great program to go on. The only problem is they did another study, and I believe this was the University of Pennsylvania. They did this study on some test subjects, and the people that actually went on the Atkins diet, and they did another with a bunch of people that did just healthy eating and exercise.
It included carbohydrates, the control group.
It included carbohydrates. Now, what happened was after 6 months, the Atkins group they basically lost more weight than the other group that had carbohydrates and activity in them. However, 12 months later, they were both measured again. Both of them fell off, and they gained the same amount of weight back. So you have to do this systematically and smart. You can't just, it's like, okay, I'm going to be on the Atkins diet. Your body is going to find a way to get that energy. And if
it's either going to slow down its metabolism or just really be hungry and
you cannot fake your body. It's super smart.
Gotcha.
It's been around for a bunch of years, so it knows what to do.
Okay, so basically the diet, it can work, but you gotta be smart about it. When you're done with it, you need to
come up with another plan.
You need to exercise and control your portion. Diet fundamentals.
Yeah.
Portion control and exercise.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like a big part that they don't really look at is, okay, yes, that's great, you lost weight. No activities involved. Yay. I don't have to exercise to do that. The only problem that I see with that is when you have no activity whatsoever, you let your joints, your muscles, everything else is going to fall apart.
It's just atrophy.
Yeah, like you could be you could have lost 50 pounds from this diet.
No muscle tone.
But if your posture's still bad, you're gonna elicit more injuries that you didn't even foresee just doing the diet. Yes, weight loss is important, but so is a proper exercise routine. And we're not talking about like high intensity intervals. We're talking about like maybe posture issues and stuff like that. That stuff can get affected as well. And people don't realize that. It's like, yeah, you don't have to exercise, but you still need to keep your body in the proper formations, and your posture still needs to be there. You need to at least have some type of, just a basic form of exercise going on in order to keep your body, just in a good
to really be healthy.
Yeah. Like that's the only problem that I have with this diet is that it does, because there's no activity involved.
It's almost like it's masking your poor health with weight loss.
Yeah.
Right. Like you assume that because weight went down, your health improved, and it might have to some extent. But if you're not exercising, if you're not putting your body through those stressors, you're not really, the blood flow that should be happening isn't happening. You're not clearing out the plaque in the arteries as well as you should. Maybe not at all, just because you're not exercising.
Exactly.
Your posture's looking bad. You're still slouched. You still got your joints and your muscles are not stronger. Mm-hmm. They're weaker than when you started.
Yeah.
So you might even still have joint problems, or they might have worsened.
Yeah, because the thing with this Atkins diet too is high fatty foods, I'm talking about like cheese, bacon grease, all that stuff is still involved in this.
Lots of cholesterol.
Yeah, like so. With you not really moving around, you're not actually doing anything for those specific problems. Like that's a big red flag for me. That's where I kind of see a big problem with the.
And thus the term skinny fat.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for that very informative
Yeah.
discussion on Atkins diet, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something, and thanks for tuning in to Fit Lab Sit Down.